Sammy Guevara and Tay Conti are the most hated couple in wrestling since Edge and Lita, and it's time for AEW to run with it.
What, you got subscription issues? Subscribe to Pro Wrestling Bits.
Sammy Guevara and Taynara Conti are a match made in OnlyFans. After Conti played the concerned lover during Sammy Guevara's TNT title loss to Scorpio Sky, shout out to him, this past week's AEW Dynamite gave a far more entertaining glimpse into what this pairing projects to be on television. During a promo exchange with co-TNT champion Dan Lambert, because God forbid the first black TNT champion gets that title onto himself, Skeet and Sammy hinted toward performing lewd acts with one of the TNT championships. Sammy and Tay are baby faces for now, but they won't even come close to hitting their strides as performers until they lean into the otherwise unfair and unnecessary toxicity that plagues their relationship. Sammy Guevara and Tay Conti are in love, and AEW's at-time toxic audience hates that. Why wouldn't they? Guevara and Conti are a young, good-looking, rich, athletic couple. Adultery allegations aside, this fan base, namely the loud and unfuckable portion of the bottom five, was always gonna find a reason to hate a couple like this, namely Tay Conti. Nobody will bully a woman off Twitter faster than the bottom of the pro wrestling fan base. These incels are the most efficient trolls in the game when it comes to that. A disgruntled wrestling fan will bully a woman off Twitter faster than the Bachelor kicks him out of his fantasy suite. Except some of these fans are going to be bachelors for their entire lives, so the Tay Contis of the world have to suffer for it. The male sexual frustration among the bottom of this fan base is at near Pepe Le Pew levels, and like everything in this country and this industry, this disproportionately affects black women. More on that here. Tay Conti herself joked that she and Sammy had become the new Cody and Brandy because Sammy and Tay have inherited that heat now that AEW hecklers have one less woman of color to cry about. So when Tay Conti and Sammy Guevara got together, this led to a very predictable social media meltdown among the absolute worst this fan base has to offer. And, say it with me, Tay Conti was bullied off Twitter. Give me those receipts.
Get this, over the weekend, Sammy Guevara announced that he and his fiance Pam had broken up. Now, if you remember, they had gotten engaged. Like, he popped the question in the middle of an AEW ring. And so this is a sad thing. But I guess it's, it's happy for them to move on and not be unhappy together. He says, and somehow a bunch of people on the internet blamed Tay Conti for their split. And Tay subsequently deactivated her Twitter account.
The amount of vitriol that I saw directed at this woman, blaming her for the end of their relationship and the end of their engagement, was the worst of wrestling Twitter that I have seen all year. Think about the ground that covers. A total dumpster fire.
In the wake of the announcement that Sammy and Pam had broken up, a bunch of people took to Twitter to send Tay Conti abusive, hateful, and harassing messages about these unfounded rumors, blaming her for the breakup of the relationship between Sammy and Pam. The abuse got so bad that Conti has now deactivated her Twitter account.
US TNT champion Sammy Guevara recently announced his breakup with his fiance Pam, causing his name to trend on Twitter, but there was another name from the company that was also trending. On social media, fans speculated on a rumored relationship between Guevara and Tay Conti. Interestingly enough, Conti also recently went public about her separation from her husband, and the two are very close friends and have done several appearances together. It's no wonder why fans are shipping the pair in a major way now, as fans argued that their respective splits from their partners are because of a relationship that's already happening. In the end, Sammy Guevara and Tay Conti are both adults, and whatever they do, or don't do, in their personal lives is their business.
Okay, instead of going to his Twitter, going to him, and telling him how you feel, you crazy fans went after Tay Conti.
You read all the comments?
About?
Apparently you and I are screwing.
I want to finish it.
Yeah, look, I'm looking.
Who said? Really?
It's not my place to comment on any of the events that led to Tay Conti and Sammy Guevara becoming an item. Love is a very complicated emotion, to say the least, and their personal lives is none of my business. But when it comes to the wrestling business, Sammy Guevara and Tay Conti seem to be set up to become major stars in the same vein as Edge and Lita. Much like Edge and Lita, Sammy and Tay need to use all this backlash to their advantage and rub people's face in it like it's the TNT title. Pro wrestling dweebs being terrible to women is a long-standing tradition that has endured even as the pro wrestling audience has shrunk over the years. especially as the pro wrestling audience has shrunk over the years. Because it's not like wrestling is getting whittled down to the coolest, most casual fans. And when wrestling fans went after Lita in 2006, the way they're going after Tay Conti over 15 years later, WWE's response was to use real-life animosity to book one of the most memorable love triangle storylines in history. In the process, Edge became a Hall of Famer. Edge and Lita's steamy romance peaked with an iconic live sex celebration, which drew one of Raw's highest ratings of the modern era. Sex sells, and when there's a juicy story behind the sex, it'll damn near sell out. As the only brown pillar in AEW, Sammy Guevara projects to have a Hall of Fame career regardless, but he'll get there much faster by playing off the authentic heat that looms over his relationship with Tay Conti. There's still a couple loose ends to tie up with Dan Lambert and friends, but whether AEW has long-term plans or whether its own fan base forces Tay and Sammy in that direction, Tay Conti and Sammy Guevara have the potential to be great heels. Forget the anti-deodorant message board people for a second. Sammy and Tay could easily channel all those little things that modern day couples do that piss people off. These days, too many pro wrestling storylines mimic surface level high school drama rather than how adults actually act when they're in love. Matching outfits, matching tats, PDAs, obnoxious selfies, the skeet and tweet. Wrestling needs to do away with all these tributes to mean girls and start doing impressions of that lovey-dovey couple that you want to block on IG but can't help but hate watch. And if AEW leans into that zeitgeist with Sammy and Tay, they'll have a potentially transcendent modern day heel couple. Now this could be AEW's inroad to finally being able to draw women. If wrestling ever wants to be mainstream again, it needs black people and it needs women. Two audiences that treat AEW the way Tay and Sammy treated their exes, by leaving them behind for something that makes them happier. Relationship storylines in AEW are few and far between, but by adding that element of drama and reality TV to its product, it could entice that same female demo that goes running for the hills whenever these professional wrestlers bleed all over each other. It was the reality television series Total Divas, led by the Bella Twins, which reinvigorated WWE's women audience. AEW was trying to replicate that success with Rose to the Top before, well, you know. And now that I think about it, if Sammy and Tay are gonna be the new Cody and Brandy, maybe they could replace Cody and Brandy and Rhodes to the Top with their own series, Sammy on Top. It could also be Tay on Top, every couple's different. The fact that Reddit Squared Circle, Incel HQ, thinks that it's a bad idea to do a relationship storyline with Sammy and Tay tells me it's a great fucking idea. Keep listening to virgins about how you should book your product, and just like those virgins, no woman will come anywhere near AEW. It's time for Sammy Guevara and Tay Conti to use the wrestling business to their advantage. Fair or not, art will always imitate life in pro wrestling and vice versa. Respecting their privacy remains important, but Sammy and Tay can also share private moments at their discretions, and if they continue to blur the lines, they'll both be launched into superstardom. Do you think Sammy and Tay should turn heel? How far should AEW go with this act? Let me know in the comments.